Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you back, and thank you for following us. I have with me one of the most dynamic chefs in the country, growing and now staying in Kabeja, but he's really a child of the province. He has been to Mthatha,
Yeah.
Montfrey, East
Yes.
London, and now also Pretoria,
Yeah.
and now you're back in Kabeja and you're raising a company
Yes.
of chefs that you
Yeah.
train. Today I have Sphumelele, Sam
Mthiyane.
Mthiyane.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much, Sam, for
Nokubule
coming.
loud, nokubule loud. Thank you for having me and for the opportunity as well. I hope the viewers will enjoy um, what this is about.
Through your work, I've seen a different kind of power and leadership.
Yes, sir.
I've seen a different kind of of drive.
Yeah.
We bulldoze.
Yeah.
You are moving and shifting the culinary industry in the
Yes.
province. But I want to first know ukuthi uSiphumelele Mthiyane ngubani, uzalwaphi.
Yeah.
Just take us. Where do you come from?
uSiphumelele Mthiyane uzalwa intombi yaseMampingeni from Mount Freya, which is on the border, KZN and the Eastern Cape. Ndikhulele khona. Then from my early childhood ndasuka saza phi apha eGqeberha, formerly known as Port Elizabeth. I done my junior years there in the early 90s. Then we moved to Gauteng province. That's where I developed your high schools, varsity, then that is London. So that is basically me in a nutshell. I went to University of Pretoria, where I done financial accounting. Ndayigqiba. I worked for Stanley for about a year, and then I got bored. I was like, this is not me. You know, sometimes when you're doing something to please the family and it's not you,
Yes.
but just because now you're coming from a family of academia, they're all for accolades and one needs to get the best education. So I just started to please them until I sat down with my mother. I said, Kota bigger, hey, I don't like this. I don't like this number game. I don't. I understand I need it, but it's not me. It's not my passion. So that's where I then go. After I took about 2 years, as I traveled a bit. My late mother was ambassador for South Africa in the UK. I think that's where also
Is it?
the traveling element and seeing and looking to the culinary world. That's how I saw without knowing. That's how I fell in love with food. There was a time I went to her for a year in the UK, where I started in Scotland. Then I was there hopping around, just yeah. So I think that's where that she saw that you have ton of good. You're always intrigued. Besides the food channels, I have always challenged and tried to come up with new things when you see the kitchen. Dakula, ngohlobo loba, when the ladies are cooking in the kitchen, I would be the only boy in the kitchen there, just looking around. Diazulazula. So, and I never knew about Haiban.
Yes.
This is my calling. This is what I love. Until ke kwaba later ke gogo ndahamba ke gogo while I was still in the UK, and then she came with the prospectus. Yes, City and Guilds of London. I want you to do a course in this, my child. Hey Joe, me, chef, hotel management, food science. I'm so go into it, try it. That's where she started giving me the history, showing me that I've always wanted to be in the kitchen. How much? Oh yes, I was a very plumpy young man. I was very plumpy, so I loved food in general. So that is where it came from. Then I started going into it. I done food preparation. I done a degree in it, hotel management. Then I came back to South Africa.
So simamele ke uthi I've done this, I've done that, I've traveled this and everything. And
Yeah.
for someone ke ongeka as much, it's like you are talking as if this is just a minute that you just traveled this and everything.
Yeah.
But now you are forming your worldview,
Yeah.
and in particular with regards to this culture,
Yeah.
yokutya and
Yeah.
taking care of people. This is now tourism and what do you call it? Tourism and what do you call the whole industry?
Economic development and tourism, actually,
Yes.
that's basically it. The one thing that I saw, comparing to other provinces, that there's a lot of development when it comes to the Eastern Cape, yet it needs us. There's no point masikhala as a Tina and we complain, but we are not coming up with solutions to assist, be it your private sector or be it government. So that's what I saw.
Yes. Now, this is why then I am interested in you as a person, because now here is a unique industry, and you're not just a small player in the industry, you are shifting the industry. And this talks about leadership and pioneering from my way of viewing your life.
Okay.
What I want to establish, how much of then your mother I know that now she's giving you that prospectus,
Yeah.
but in driving, yourself now in the industry, how
Yeah.
much of her is in you, is in that? How much do you take from her?
There's a lot of her that is in me. She was a teacher by profession. Hey? So we come from that very strictness of being acute, being steadfast, resilience. She was a very strong woman. And if whatever she put her mind to it, she made sure that she achieves. And she never gave up. I was there throughout the whole journey of us growing up with my siblings. And I think that's where I took it from. That's why I take the power from her. You know, it's business. I've opened and closed restaurants. I've lost money, yet I haven't given up. I opened my own culinary institution, which was at the Tramways,
Yes,
which
I saw
operated for
that.
2 years. Yeah,
Yes.
and due to unforeseen financial constraints, I just decided, you know what, close doors, but you're not done. Just close doors for now and look at another business module that is going to be viable. Not saying that I have given up on the upskilling element, but now I'm using another angle to actually capture all of that.
But also the upskilling and the training element would have also been very helpful during the lockdowns,
Yeah.
if there's like budget to be spent.
Yes,
And
yes.
also that the training element also brings people in one venue
Yes.
and one space, and depending on the number.
Yeah.
So, but then now the market is opening, isn't it?
It is,
What is
it
happening
is.
in the market?
The market is opening slowly. I won't lie. COVID really hit the hospitality scene. It hit it, put up to a point whereby there are things that we haven't touched upon as people and businesses, SMEs and these giants in the industry. There's a lot of suicide rates. There's a lot of alcohol abuse, drug abuse within the professionals in the space.
Yeah.
And they didn't get any counseling, they didn't get any sort of support. That's where I saw that this is how I can come in. That is where I started the academy, because the aim was to have workshops, and that's what we started doing, working with the local metro, coming up with workshops with different themes to it, but strictly focusing on hospitality and tourism, because most of them lost a lot of jobs. Only now, after 2 years, it's starting to shape up, but it's not as sharp as it was. So we still need to give individuals tools to empower themselves, open their own businesses, or do consulting. That's where there's no one income stream. So if we give them the education that they need to empower themselves, then you have achieved the most. Yeah.
What I'm gonna take, because what you are saying, it sort of lights so many light bulbs in my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, I understand.
And as you are talking, I'm thinking with him, what does umama ohleli pha mhlambi elokishini owenza ikota,
Yeah.
or a young lady, a young man that is doing that, what do they need, say, to treat the little that they have?
Yeah.
Because we can't underestimate its importance and
Yeah.
how useful it is in their lives as an income generator, but also not to leave it at what it is, because we've seen a guy from a Motherwell,
Yes, pallet
the
doctor.
pallet doctor, who
Yes, yeah.
actually started in the same way. How does one build a pallet doctor? How does one build something that you have actually built from the little? Just broadly, I know, it's your
Who?
masterclass. It's your masterclass.
You're opening
It's a can of
a can
worms.
of worms.
Yes, yes.
Because to be honest, I'm in the process of starting what is called a food hub incubation. Yet I want to finalize the whole hotel and restaurant thing we're currently busy with. The end goal is to start a food incubation. Now, when I say food incubation, I'm saying that for that young man or that mama ohleli ekoneni owenza ikota, we are saying that I'm able to take you in, mentor you in business, how to run your business, mentor you on how to conduct at food, your food hygiene, safety at work. So that is where we have to come together with these other institutions, be it your funding institutions to come on board, be it your accredited educational institutions, to work together and create a program that will be an incubation and taking them for 2 years, molding them, shaping them, doing into a growth wheel, whereby you have one-on-one with this business owner. Igama lakhe umzekelo, you got uSpokazi. Spokazi wezikota, wezi-wigs, ezibrayiweyo in her vicinity. And she's doing very well, but then she does not have money management, no marketing resources. It's all word of mouth. She wants to expand. She wants to get a container and then move and grow. But she does not have the know-how, but she's imagining it in her mind. So what we want to do as this incubation, we want to say, come into our incubation. We will mentor you. We will put you in the contact with the right funding places, which will empower you so that you are able to then grow your business module. Financial management systems that you'll be trained in, health and safety. You cannot be a food handler who is not competent in the little, which is food hygiene. You will do a course in health and safety or food handling as well, so that you are deemed fit. Because we've also got the bylaws from the environmental, which is Umasipala, which is called a COA, Certificate of Accessibility. There's no food handler or restaurant or container that should be operating without these compliances. These compliances assist us when it comes to tourists coming into our bay and shores and being able to trust our food, that our standards. And that is where we are standing now. Those are things we should be focusing on. Those are things that we should be able to say that chisanyama elokishini, are they adhering? So that is why we, as when I say we, I take as entrepreneurs. We now need to put our foot forward and say, okay, fine, this is my business. How do I achieve A, B, C? How about you start working with other powerhouses? How there is no one-man island. How about you start working with that company with Chef Sebo? How about you start working with that like Chef Tabo, or work with that consultant? Come together, create programs that will uplift, that will empower, that will be an income stream as well, because that's the most important. You are in business because of income. You want what? Revenue. So that's the most important.
And I suspect this is the most difficult industry to have a business in,
Yeah.
because you know what, when you're in business, money comes in and you are tempted to use it. Uyitye, you know.
Yeah.
Now ingxaki le ukuthi imali ingangena uyitye ngohlobo lwakho, but
Yeah.
then kukho nokutya okwenzayo
Yeah.
ongafuni
Ukutya.
ukutya.
That is a, yeah, eh?
So
Yeah.
it's like a double blow in
Yeah.
the industry. It needs high discipline. Is
Yes.
it the kind of discipline that one needs to run this industry successfully?
You need to first be on the ground. And when I say you need to be on the ground, you need to first work with others that have the experience in order to gain your own experience. I would advise, do not jump into it if you have not been in the industry. At least have minimum 3 to 4 years of you have been working for, whether it's a restaurant or a hotel group, guest house. Try and gain as much as possible so that you know how to deal with situations when they come. That's where you learn the discipline. That's why you learn the stresses, the industrial psychology. You learn them when you are in the industry. You learn them when you are writing them. Customer solutions, how to deal with difficult customers. You learn them when you are in them. Yes, we learn them by the book, but life is best teacher.
Sesivile ke Samkelo abamthandayo
Yes.
uSphumelele Mthiyane. He is actually dealing with this culinary industry and he's actually moved. I've seen really good work that you've done. You've helped over 50 entities to
Yeah.
develop their own menus and
Yes.
building is it the back side of the restaurant or the whole
It's the whole. So
restaurant, the
so
front and the
front
back
we
and
do it's called the front of house.
front of
Yes.
house, yes.
And the back of house.
The back
So
of house, okay.
I set up the kitchen. So I tell you how to set up the kitchen so you are able to be found compliant. So from how the kitchen is set up, to your compliance, your gas stoves, health and safety, to the front of house, setting up the bar, setting up the lounges, your toilets, the color scheme, the roofing. So basically, I do everything with setting up your shop in the hospitality industry.
Industry.
Yes.
So, kukho abantu ke, I think we frowned upon people who did tourism,
Yeah.
especially, I think it was just the 2000s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
where there was a surge of people driven to the tourism industry. There was this promise of tourism,
Oh.
and it was also easy to enter into. I want to find out what can those people do who got their qualifications and then got stuck,
Yeah.
whatever the reason might be, in order to actually progress. Is there any way of articulating into formal training
Training,
or
yeah.
like even
Yeah.
starting businesses?
Yeah, well, I always tell the youth that at that time, as you were saying, that there was an influx in people going into hospitality because it was an scapegoat because they were running away from your engineering, your mathematics.
Maths starting a post,
Yeah,
it's like, yo, tourism.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's where they, but then that's where ke ngoku the cracks started is because they got into it and then they thought there was no accountability in it as well. There's a lot of accounting when it comes to hospitality as well.
Yeah,
You are measuring. There's science to the food. There's measuring. In baking, you use science.
Yes.
You know, there's heat, there's tempering. In cooking, you work with temperatures. You need to understand the temperatures, and then the most important is costing. You need to be able to cost a dish so that you understand that I'm buying this dish for these ingredients for 30 rand, and then I need to be selling it at X amount. You need to know the grammages.
Yeah,
How much did it cost you? Your work labor in the fitted, your packaging. That's we call it a takeaway bill. Your packaging, serviettes, all those things when you buy at the restaurant, it's already fixed. Kwilaa bill yakho oyibhatalela your 100 and something rand for that burger okanye ezo ribs okanye loo lab yakho, it's already fixed. But the bigger not but the biggest challenge is that most places that are running whereby people are just buying these businesses because it looks glamorous and they end up not lasting in Gqeberha is because they do not have the knowledge of when it comes to the financial aspect of things. So going to what you were saying, Amatu now are running, we've got a backlog of Amatu in hospitality who started hospitality and they cannot get jobs because they never got any industry placement. Those are the challenges now we, as a professional board you are at, I currently sit on a board called South African Chef Association.
And you're the chairperson
Yes.
for the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm a
before we get
chairperson for
into that one,
Yeah.
now, there one bheka kaSamke ayiyo lena is 60 rand special eyakhe ithi 150,000. Yeah.
Private school.
Yeah,
Private school. Yes, yes.
But before he goes into the formal leadership
Yeah.
aspect within the industry as well, I want you, if you have any questions, please write them on the comment section. I want him to also see the kind of questions that you have. But I don't want you to think that what you have done so far, whether it's that tourism and hospitality
Yeah.
qualification or the kind of business that you are doing i-Russian, imiqolo
Yeah.
phaya elokishini evuka
Yes.
uyanibona kule
As a
miqolo
fish.
yenu. Eza fish, asizuthetha nto, asithetha asingeni apho.
Yeah.
You know, but I want you to have a pathway out and into a bigger platform for what you are doing. Because it's an interesting thing that people start things and not complete it.
Yeah.
It's not because of you, it's because you probably didn't know any better and you
Yeah.
probably didn't have the proper mentorship that you need in order to get into this broad industry. Remember, ukutya yinto esitya ngaphakathi
Yeah.
complications zayo. You don't want to eat to feed people poison, an example.
Yes,
So
yes.
one needs to be well skilled in order to do that. But then now, yinkokheli lena kweli nqanaba. You are the chairperson of the South African Chefs
Chefs Association.
Association. Give us a broader perspective of that association
Yeah.
and the work that you guys do.
Okay. So the South African Chef Association is a professional body, which is a non-profit professional body. It's been in existence for the past 39 years. We are a national body which is embedded with the World Chef Association globally. So each country has got an association globally, and then once a year we all meet up. Then upper, we've got something regionally. We've got this thing called a chapter. Now, our chapter is the Eastern Cape as a region. So this chapter has subsidiaries, which is we would have a little branch in Mthatha, a branch in East London, which reports to the chapter in Gqeberha.
Okay.
So that is what we are. Whatever's going on in Mthatha, they all report to the main, which is Upper Gqeberha. So we are for, the body is strictly for your caterers, your cooks, your businesses, anything related to hospitality and food. That is what the body is about. Yes.
Civil again, and then how do you form part of it if you are just
Yeah.
somewhere in the outer skirts of the province?
Yeah, our footprint is we've got a footprint, social media, South African Chef Association. We've got contact details whereby for memberships. Obviously, there's a membership to see, and also we do trade tests for the professionals that are there, so that they are deemed still competent. Whereby you can do it under SA Chefs from a regional or national perspective. You give us a call, speak to our admin officers. They will give you the application documentation online, and then you take it from there, and you get your certificate once you're done.
Okay, you now have a secret for us. Do you want to talk about what you're going to
Yeah.
do in November?
Yes.
Because you've assisted so many companies to
Yeah.
establish themselves, and you're working on another secret.
Yes, yes, yes,
Come on
sir.
now.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. So yeah, the secret is I've been opening a lot of restaurants for people and my clients. I assist them with the management systems. Assist them with the training of staff. We've got a big challenge in the Eastern Cape when it comes to service excellence. I'm sure now you are aware of that in the places that you go.
Eish.
It's a big
Ngana
challenge.
nothetha, ndifuna
It's
uwathetha
bad. We can't mention the places, but it's a big challenge. And this is where I see now, this is where professionals should be coming in to assist and aid this, because now this yes matter now economy yet, because now you've got internationals that are coming in. We're going into summer now. We've got cruise ships that are coming in, influx, and they come to our restaurants to have the African experience. We are very ahead. We may be a third world country, but see ahead of what is going on. Why is it that now we are not living up to the standards that we portray ourselves as? You cannot say that you are a fine dining restaurant, but your service and the experience does not say that. I choose my words carefully when I say experience. Now, I always telling clients have that you don't want to sell a product, you want to sell an experience. Once you come into the exactly, you come into the place. We come into the place. The decor, the service, the food, the beverages should all speak. You don't want a customer to say, "Oh, the only nice thing there was the food. Everything else was pathetic." Now that's where we are lacking a lot at Gqeberha. We are lacking a lot, and that is where now my mission is to get all these product owners working with your parastatal institutions. That is my dream, actually, to put them down and say, how do we fix this?
And then how do we put that African experience then on a dish? How do
Yes.
we push our ingredients,
Yes.
which historically, I don't know, maybe it's how I grew up, but
Yeah.
most of what we ate at home, we didn't have much, but it was really based on water, you
Yes.
know, we didn't use a lot of into ezihlahlazayo,
Yeah. Yes.
and
Yes.
I read an article, an academic article of a German guy that came and
Yeah.
studied our diet in the Eastern
Yes.
Cape, and I can't find that article now because I read it around 2016,
Okay.
where they measured the calories within our food
Yes.
because they were
Yes.
studying how do we maintain health because we
Yeah.
seem to be a healthy people, especially
Yeah.
in the rural areas. What was in our diet?
Yeah.
You know, you know, the portions
Yeah.
that
Yes.
we serve and the frequency of our meals, as
Yeah.
opposed to the 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we basically, I don't remember eating 3 times a day. We basically eat at a particular time, maybe when we are
Yes.
hungry. I don't know. So how do you put the African experience on that
On a dish.
plate? Yes.
Whew, that's a brilliant one. Number one, on that note, first and foremostly, we are so westernized as food practitioners that we are having a challenge of translating this African dish to e-gastronomy. So when I say gastronomy, I'm saying that the science of cooking. So you want to take lamlekwa or uthathe lamfino and present it in a Western manner. Because that's basically what they are doing with their dishes, their cuisine.
Okay.
That is what they're doing. And that is my next journey that I'm about to go into. The science of cooking our indigenous dishes. I understand from the health and dietary needs, but how do I, let me give you an example. How do I take there's a umgusho abe puree and dimenze and presented in a gastronomical way. Labaqovi xa usetyenziswa plates zethu zesingesi. Presented in that manner. Mayingabe umleqwa ohlela athe dak. Nokanye umgusho athe. That is where we should
Yes.
be
So we
going
should
headed.
refine or maybe push it, like push the
Yes.
diet or the way that we cook into like 2050. That's my
Yes. Yeah.
that's my view. Like how do we push it? The same that Sayula Dumo has done within
Yeah.
the fashion sense, taking what we have and actually putting it
Yeah.
into esinxibayo
Yeah.
singamarhwala nento
Yeah.
enjalo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says that he pushes it into 2050 fashion. And then architecture as
Yeah.
well. How do those who are in architecture take our local, our indigenous, our oronda, onqupans, into enjalo,
It creates-
push it into, if we need a skyscraper in that
Yes.
sense, or on njalo njalo, and then in the culinary sense ke ngoku. And I
How
guess
do you take it
it's your
there?
secret now.
Yeah.
You can't I
We're already here. We're already here.
Yes.
So it goes back to what you were saying as well. Looking at the brands you're talking about, Olatuma, looking at those brands I believe it's a matter of you're taking a product or an item and you want to push it. In order to push it, you need to create and find is there a niche. Now you found a niche. Now it needs the creatives now to be consistent. And the only way to be consistent is to keep on practicing. You can't be looking at the Western culture and the way that you're doing. You just take the Western culture, interpret your product, which is strictly African cuisine, and presenting it the Western culture way. There's no rocket science to that, and that is where we should be going right now as the food practitioners in our craft, because we are sinking so much into the Western culture's way of cooking, more than focusing on ours, and they come to our country to explore our cuisine, not their cuisine.
Sibulele ke kuSiphumelele. uPhumelele, Sphumelele. And you can see that he's actually at a level that he's now looking at the industry quite broadly, from the elements of governance to training to the actual, preparing of food and the industry as a whole, hosting and hospitality. And that's a very broad sense and,
Yeah.
and a panoramic view
Yeah.
of the industry. We're happy to have had him, and I know this is not enough. We will have him again. Sikhona izinto ezisasetyenzwayo uzawuza
Yeah.
nathi
Yeah.
sizawuya kuye sizobona imisebenzi ephathekayo emihle that is being done eGqeberha, kwiphondo lethu lempuma koloni
Yes.
sephondweni. I want to find out, or before ndifumane your last words, you
Yeah.
want to think about them. I'm sure politicians sezivile ukuthi nansi manifesto ye-township economic development.
Yes. I must be,
Nansi
must be.
manifesto.
Yes, yes, yes. Silao.
And going and bringing people who know and who've actually been around, because we're now at a time where we have to play the international game. We are global frauders now. We're no
Yeah.
longer in the corner. Even when we're here, we'll be hosting international people that need to know that
Yes.
we know what is happening across the ends of the world. Any last few comments that you want to make?
Last few comments, I didn't answer your question. That was saying, what am I cooking?
Okay.
I'm cooking. We're cooking a lot.
I thought you wanted to allow that to simmer privately.
Yeah. No, we're cooking.
Yes.
So we're cooking a boutique hotel called 50 Boutique. It's in Summerstrand, number 50, and Ruben Crescent. We are launching late November. So keep posted, and we definitely would like to be on your show again as closer to the time,
To the time,
so
yes.
that we unfold the journey as you have started our journey with us now.
Thank you,
So
yeah. Thank you so much. He took me through this beautiful construction site.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to any construction site that is so beautiful. And I took some pictures and some videos we're going to share with you. You watch. Please do look out and support. But also, we are building something big. There's a huge network that is developing within the province.
Yeah.
And we need to reach each other. I've had people reaching from East London already.
Yeah.
I've had people reaching, not
Yeah.
people are starting to say that, hey, we see what you are doing.
Yes.
I've had the SAPC as well,
Okay.
sharing feedback
Yeah.
in Pretoria and up at Gqeberha
Yeah.
of what we're trying to do. They say we're watching the content of what you are developing, which is great.
Yes,
And thank
it
you
is.
so much, because Kutaza. I want to encourage people who have ways to make us better, to assist us. We're really going to have to take this one seriously. And I
Yes.
want to take this thing continental, honestly. I really want to take this program continental.
Yes.
But I want it to be really grounded in what we are doing up at Pondweni and up at
Yes.
Mzansi, and take that to the world, take that to the nation. Comments,
Definitely.
last comments, Ukabile, after that surprise? Anyone who's trying to make it as you, as
Okay.
Sam, what can you say to someone who's struggling to make it,
Yeah.
and they've started something? What do you want to say to them?
Persistence, punctuality, determination, drive. Ezo zinto, those are the funding principles of where you are going to. Resources are resources which can be unlocked. I started with nothing, and today I'm going somewhere. I didn't have a silver spoon, but I was able to attain a silver spoon. So with the hardships that you are going to go through, sunikezela, keep on trying. Network, wake up, nxiba ube mhle, ube presentable, uyaqoqoza ukuthi udikwe. Continue doing that. There will be that door who's going to be willing to listen to you, or she'll be willing to listen to you. And as from going from that door, once you get that ear, just make sure that you are able to deliver on what you are promising or on what you are proposing. So whether you busy with container, whether on a restaurant already but it's failing, You do not know what to do. A lot of people are committing suicides in the industry right now with the restaurants because of mismanagement. Game reserves as well. You'd be shocked. There's a couple of owners I know that are no longer because of not understanding the intricacies of the financial management and quality management systems that one should be having. So all of that was what I would experience, and experience goes with you going into the deep end. Ngena usebenze.
Usem uthi vuka,
Yes.
geza, ugqoke,
Okay. Yeah.
ubangene.
Yes.
Thank you
Leave
so much,
us.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm really grateful to have had this conversation. Looking forward to more, and I have more that are coming up that we've already recorded. We'll post them intermittently. Thank you. Please come back, subscribe, and share the conversation.